Mercedes Moné is the new TBS Champion, but how was her AEW debut match? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Beer Trading Bell. This is DS, and this is your Double or Nothing review. And for this special occasion, the Ring the Bell original Phil's back.
Great to be here. Always fun.
You're everywhere lately. Fightful, you're on Bleacher Report. I feel like we have a lot to talk about here because I feel like this pay-per-view felt like start of something new. I was very happy about this pay-per-view, but we got this big Mercedes Moné debut match. We've got Serena Deeb versus Toni Storm. We got tons to talk about. 3 matches, even though one was on a pre-show. That is fine. That is fine. So let's start with Deonna Purrazzo versus Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa, she was like walking down, like doing Elvis impersonation, like.
Yeah, I really liked her gear. I liked the look with the sunglasses and everything. She had like the ponytail with like kind of like the pompadour. I liked the look a lot.
Makeup was really, really cool. And then Deonna Purrazzo, opulent as always. This match was pretty quick, right?
I thought they got enough time for a pre-show match to tell the story they wanted, but it seems like they're doing like a best of type thing because they had the match on Collision. And so it seems like we're going to get a third match. I thought this match was really good. Thunder Rosa kind of wrestled down the style, like the technical style. They did a lot of the mat game stuff. I enjoyed it.
I was kind of surprised because their like interactions before this was like just brawling after brawling, like just chasing against each other. So I was like, okay, the shit's gonna go down. But then I was like, okay, pre-show it might not go down. And then yeah, they went with more of a mat-based wrestling, which is like Deonna's specialty. I love, by the way, the commentator was like confusing, like, Deonna might be best at this. Oh wait, there's Serena. We don't know who's better at this. And later during Serena match, they're like, actually, Serena's better at this. Like, yeah. Do you like Deonna as heel or face better?
I think the Virtuosa just works better as a heel. It's kind of a heel gimmick. And I think she does better as a heel. I thought it made sense for her to come in as a baby face because she was in New Jersey. She got that big pop in her hometown. Yes. Wrestling style she does, like the submissions and everything. It kind of lends itself to being a bad guy.
Yeah, Deonna is a heel character. I mean, I like when she does babyface, like here and there, like in TNA. She had a pretty cool babyface run where she was doing moonsaults and she was tweeting about it. She was like, I can do moonsaults too. She's just so good as a heel, so I'm glad that she's definitely going more to that direction. I love that trio bow with the shoulder tackle move.
Yeah, it's become like one of her signatures.
And then at the end, Deonna picks up a win with Dirty holding the bottom rope.
I like what they did here. It feels like they're like building up story. I kind of think this is building up to Britt coming back.
Oh, wait, what? Wait, that is so up. What?
Of course, like Deonna and Britt were friends before she got there.
Oh, okay.
When she talked about bringing in the tag partner that ended up being Thunder Rosa, everybody thought it was going to be Britt.
Right.
And so at that time, she was still a baby face. And so right now, like, the stuff she's doing with Thunder Rosa, and of course Thunder Rosa's most notable rival at AEW is Britt Baker.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I completely forgot about the whole like mystery partner thing.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That is really interesting. I like the idea of going there. If Britt can come back, because I don't know where she is. She's like stuck somewhere like, Tony, let me in.
She was tweeting stuff last night, so I have to assume she might be close to being ready.
Oh, I mean, she's making noise. Of course, Jamie Hayter too. I hope she's back soon too.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't have any updates on it.
I feel like we'll have to see the third match between the two and a more of a like hardcore street fight type of match.
I have to assume it's going to be some kind of stipulation match for the third match.
Because we know that Thunder Rosa is so good at that. That's where she got really big in AEW. But one of my favorite TNA matches of all time, Deonna Purrazzo and Mickie James, and like all the hardcore matches. Deonna have the whole pompous like virtuosa thing, but when she goes down and dirty, she goes full Jersey style and she like gets her. I love that virtuosa too. So I think that match is gonna be great. This one, I had a lot of hopes. It didn't really reach that, but I think it's just an appetizer, to be honest.
Yeah. I thought it was a fun pre-show match. I think it was a good way to progress their story.
And how great is that AEW is having a non-title feud?
Yeah, I thought out of all the matches, they built to stuff for upcoming episodes. They did a lot of story stuff with all the matches.
Right.
It was a lot of progress for the women's division.
And one thing's for sure from AEW Double or Nothing, it is Moné can change everything. You can bank on Moné. And what just changed in my life is my new wallet. Yeah, because this episode is brought brought to you by Ridge Wallet and their so sleek, slim design. So yeah, just look at my new beautiful wallet. I've been using it for like 2 weeks. It's like super slim. You can detach it like this. One of the things I love the most about it is that my thick phone wallet I had before, I couldn't use Apple Pay, but this is like so slim and like stylish, and you can use Apple Pay. So that, first of all, changed my life. The Ridge wallets are super slim, super slick. It easily goes into your front pocket. I personally got the one that has the MagSafe feature, so I can attach it to my phone. If you don't like that and just going to carry it by itself, there are tons of options for those. And the phone wallet I had before, even though it was pretty thick, I could only fit like 3 to 4 cards, maybe if I squeeze it in. This one can fit up to 12 cards, and you can put the cash on the little cash strap here. And what was great was that they offer so many designs with over 50 colors and styles, and optional attachments like AirTag holder, MagSafe attachment, cash strap, or money clip. So it's truly customizable for your needs and style. And I just learned about this. It also has RFID protection to keep your personal information safe. And just the materials, it just feels so premium, like titanium, carbon fiber. And what's even better is that I have the matching key case. Isn't this so pretty? I'm so into like olive color lately. This fits up to like 6 keys securely in one place. And I hated my keys jingling all over my pocket. I don't have that issue anymore. This honestly seems like a perfect Father's Day gift. Fathers will eat this up, and they've got a huge Father's Day sale that can get you up to 40% off of some of the items across the website from May 15 to June 15 at ridge.com. So go check out. They've got tons of options. You will love it for sure. And your father will love it too.
So the second match we had was AEW Women's World Championship, Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb. Deeb coming in with a Deep or Nothing shirt, which was really cute. I really like her hair moment too. This has been an issue with Toni Storm matches in general.
Yeah.
Like, people love Timeless Toni Storm, so whoever she goes against, maybe except for like Azumi, I feel like the crowd has always been on the side of Toni Storm, so they are booing Serena Deeb. It does not matter. She was like, I had seizures here and there. Doesn't matter. People boo her still. Boo! Seizures, boo!
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I think they got to turn Toni at this point because she's just too popular.
Yeah.
This has happened like 3 times in a row where somebody comes in and they're trying to be sympathetic and the crowd just doesn't care. They're like, boo. I thought one of the funniest things this week, well, last week on Dynamite, them coming out with Deeb's flag, and it felt very like Attitude Era-esque. Like Toni was like unbuckling her top, like she's about to take her top off.
Right.
And then Deeb came out, boo.
Because they were there for the burlesque show.
I love the way they built up Serena Deeb as a challenger on Collision, because the entire time she was on Collision, she was like, yeah, I'm here to bring the wrestling back. I don't want to focus on any of the character stuff, the promo stuff. I'm here to put the wrestling back in AEW. Mm-hmm. And so you would think, based on that fan base that likes the in-ring work, that she would be the babyface here and like the big triumphant one. Nope.
No, nothing. No wrestling, no seizures, nothing. I really enjoyed this match because Serena Deeb match are so interesting. Serena Deeb had so many interesting holds. It was like watching like submission hold dictionary.
I really like this thing they've been doing with Toni, I think since for like the last 3 matches, where she has been like hamming it up and doing like the shenanigans to win. But like for at least the last 3 matches, all of her opponents have been forcing her to wrestle their style. Like that happened in the Deonna match, it happened in the Thunder Rosa match. And in this match, I felt like the real story here was that Serena was forcing her to work her style of match. And Toni was keeping up. Toni looked great. People do forget, because she's focused so heavily on the character stuff, that she is a very good wrestler. Right. I would say this is her best title defense with this character, honestly.
I love how like Serena had reversals for all Toni's main moves. The way she reversed chokeslam. She reversed everything, which is like so interesting. Most of the match was Toni in some form of like submission, like being contorted. It's just like, oh, okay, like we feel bad for her. What's the one that you like find yourself and you're like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Why am I drawing a blank on what that hold is called?
I hate it. I think it looks so goofy. You drop kick and like, oh, magically it's off. Like, but I think in this match, I think it worked because like Serena's such a submission master that she's pulling all these submission moves. I did love that interaction with Luther and Mariah here. Very storyline. I love that AEW is like planting all the seeds here. So Mariah here trying to throw the match for Toni. And then Luther was like trying to stop that. But then Toni saw that, thinking it was Luther that was trying to throw the match. And like it's all this miscommunication. So I'm very intrigued about this. Is Mariah really in love with Toni and like she can't see Toni like be in pain, or is she trying to break up Toni and Luther? Like it's a very intriguing case.
Yeah, I think the stuff they've been doing backstage is really good, because you can tell like sometimes in the background that Luther is like not feeling Mariah at all. He's just like, why is she here? Like, get her out of here. But I think the Mariah stuff with her And Mina has also been really, really interesting as well. She's coming out and doing like the Toni cosplay stuff, but also sometimes she'll do like Mina's moveset. She'll do like really like Mina gestures and dance moves and everything. So I really like that we're actually getting a build to the Forbidden Door match this year.
Absolutely.
We usually don't get one. And so I think what they're doing with that is great. I have to assume that Mina versus Toni has to be the match. The towel I thought was really smart as well because Toni threw in the towel for Mariah in the match.
Oh, you're right.
I think that was a good way to call back to that was going to be her way of like kind of, is she trying to get payback of like throwing in a towel and causing her the match? But then like getting it thrown on Luther and Luther's facial expressions, for some reason he has on like white gloves like a Disney character. And so all of his reactions to everything was great. I thought the finish was cool.
Oh my god. So the finish of this match was insane because Serena, her finishing move on the apron, I mean, we all know that she was not going to win, but like that was like a moment. And then she started climbing up the post only for Toni to hit that Storm Zero in there.
Yeah, I thought the finish looked great. Pile driver off the top rope and then rolled her into a second one to beat her. She had to do a lot to put Serena away, and I thought that made Serena look good.
Really good. This match was like really well constructed. It went to the like highest of the highest. It was an incredible match.
I think Toni is easily one of the most popular characters in the company. I have to assume like this is building to Mariah and Toni at some way in the future, but I like the execution of it so far.
One thing that I both loved and hated about this Timeless Toni Storm reign is that we know where it's going. It's going towards Mariah versus Toni. We're definitely going to Forbidden Door Mina versus Toni, with Mariah being in the middle. I'm very excited about that because they've been doing a lot of lesbian stuff. Like, just lesbian explosion. Whenever there's gay shit happening on TV, I love it. We are in for a treat for this Mina Toni storyline. That's gonna be so good. We're finally gonna start to see the cracks in between Mariah and Toni, so I'm so excited for that. But let's go to the big match that we were waiting for. Mercedes Moné finally getting in the ring for AEW against Willow Nightingale, the TBS Champion. Before the entrance, I have to talk about this freaking video package that they played.
Oh yeah.
They're like, was Mercedes like basically comparing herself with like Rosa Parks? With like
it was very interesting. Like I Mercedes has made history a lot. You know, she is like a trailblazer and all these things. But it was like Amelia Earhart and like Rosa Parks and like all these like it was interesting. I was like, okay.
I couldn't tell if they were being serious or like if this is like a heel thing that she thinks she's as big as all these like historical figures.
Yeah, I mean, like she said, trailblazer has won all over the world, has been fantastic no matter where she goes. She's a legend.
She is a legend.
But yeah, it was so self-serious that I was like, where is this going?
Anyway. Thought that was a choice. We got the like almost like a Daft Punk drum situation with like the Vegas girls. We got the whole like basically baby WrestleMania entrance here.
I thought it was great. Big superstar entrance for her. She's come in and they've like laid the red carpet out for her, even like showing up in her hometown for big business. Right. They don't really do that for anybody. And I mean, the only person they've really done it for is Punk at this point, like giving them that kind of reception. I think it was a good way for her to have her debut match. It's a bumpy 2 months to get here, but I think it was worth it.
The gear was very intricate. I don't know what to say about this gear. It was like very small. It was like the tape was doing its thing. I don't know how this gear worked. I was very confused about it. Very pretty. And then Willow Nightingale, she had a little bit of a glow up look. She had a championship like pay-per-view look, different hair, and she came out with this huge friendship bracelet, which I kind of like wish they used at the end. I wish they like broke it. That would be good. Because it was only one-time use, I'm guessing. So I mean, Willow looked absolutely amazing. She looked a superstar. I think Willow is one of the best baby faces in the entire industry.
I agree. Yeah. I think that she's definitely benefited from working with Mercedes, both in New Japan and here. Getting the screen time has really helped her getting promos. Her promos have been exceptional.
Oh my God.
I thought that contract signing made this feel like one of the biggest matches going into this pay-per-view. You know, the whole triple main event thing is... Yeah. There's really only one main event. But the fact...
Oh yeah, this was not a main event.
I get what they were doing, trying to give the optic, and I do think it's great that they headlined this show.
Mercedes was on the chair.
Yeah, Yeah, but this felt like one of the biggest stories coming in. I think in the short time that we did get Willow as champion, she felt like a big deal. She got a great reaction when she came out. Big pop when she came out.
I hate to compare, but like comparing with how like Bailey was booked as babyface and how Willow was getting booked as a babyface champion, it's just like the difference is so stark because a lot of times babyface, especially babyface champions, they go to this like just humble, like I'm a babyface, I'm good, I'm vanilla, I'm boring. Where Willow, like she can fight for herself, she defends herself, and she can get a little nasty if she wants to, which she showed in this match. This match was incredible with like amazing story of Mercedes ankle for ankle. I'm gonna break your ankle too. So she was going straight to Willow's ankle and she was vicious.
I thought the start of the match when Willow's really using her power to dominate, she was like ragdolling her, and man, you forget when you don't see Mercedes wrestle for a while, like the way she sells like death. Like when she threw her against the apron toward the beginning of the spot, I was like, oh my god, like the way she folded up.
Right.
Whoa.
Especially because we know that Mercedes just came out of a career-ending injury. Because she just did the injury, we're like looking at it with the micro lens too. But on top of that, given that this is her first AEW match, everyone's like, let's see if Toni is making her money worth. So I think everyone's like super analyzing this match. The way that Willow came back to attack Mercedes' ankle.
Yeah, I absolutely
Nasty.
I absolutely love that about this story. Willow was like, well, wait a minute. If that's where we're going, let's do that. Let's go there. Mercedes has been cocky for this entire time, like interrupting her every time she gets a chance. As soon as she wanted Dynasty, she walked out there, immediately stepped on her moment. When she got her celebration, she came out, immediately stepped on her moment. And at every turn, Willow's like, well, wait a minute, I beat you. Like, I'm on your level. And so I liked here when she was like trying to heal it up a little bit and like go for the ankle.
That one move where like Willow just crashed ankle into the apron, that was, oh my god, I screamed.
That looked nasty.
That was so scary.
Yeah, there were several great spots like that with like the ankle. I thought some of the submission holds that Mercedes pulled out here were great. Figure 4 that she did and she modified looked so cool. All the Meteora she pulled off, that one out to the outside, just
so good.
Excellent.
Crossface. She really knows. She really knows how to do it with like full effect. Locking in the ankle in there. It's just so, she mastered that move perfectly. That is her finisher. I don't know about Moné Maker.
I thought the transition she did into it was really cool. Like the way she looked like she was gonna go into like the sunset powerbomb, and then she like flipped over and got her on her back, and I was like, wait, and then she actually like lifted her up and walked forward. I was like, oh, that looks really cool. Now, the problem with the Moneymaker is I think it looks good depending on how well the other person sells it. And so I think when she spent over to do it, it looked a little clunky, but it was just because I just don't think Willow is used to taking that move.
She should have done like a whole 1 hour training for that. Because this was the finish. They're just kind of like, But the thing is, like, this move has been problem for Mercedes for a while.
It's a very intricate move, and you could see like some people are just like, it's just kind of, you gotta have to be on the same page with how the other person sells it.
The Moneymaker is not a moneymaker. I don't know. It's a very cool move. But I also just loved how that spot where Mercedes like pushed Chris Statlander, she came up to like argue about it with the referee, basically caused Willow a match because right after that Willow hit a babe with the power bomb, but because referee was distracted with Chris Statlander and Stokely, she couldn't do the count.
Yeah, I really like that because it protected Willow a little bit. She had this match won. Just a second longer, if the referee would have turned around, she would have retained. I mean, I don't think any of us expected Mercedes to lose her first AEW match, but I thought that there was enough here to get us on the edge of our seats. There were enough good false finishes. I thought Willow came out of this looking good. It wasn't like Mercedes just came out dominated. I thought Willow, for large parts of this match, dominated. She looked great.
So Mercedes became the new TBS champion with the Moneymaker. Did this live up to your expectation?
I wasn't worried about it because, I mean, that's what Mercedes does best, is the wrestling. And I think that was kind of the thing with the first 2 months or so of leaning so heavily on the promo stuff and the acting stuff. That's always been kind of her shortcomings. I thought like the story stuff they started doing, especially after the last pay-per-view, once they actually got like focus and direction to it, it got really good. But the match itself really lived up to it. The match was a great payoff.
Look, we were all waiting for this moment because we know that Mercedes can go in the ring. For me, it didn't disappoint. I wouldn't say it's like the cleanest, most smoothest match, but like she just got out of the freaking like career-ending season-ending, year-long injury. But this match was just so brutal and like raw. The storyline was there. You felt the animosity between the two, and I think that's what's important. And like they definitely delivered that. This match will be the one that you will be remembering for years to come. I was very satisfied with it, minus the finisher, I'll say. One thing I was kind of surprised about is that I thought Mercedes will be like enjoying a whole victory ceremony, but then she walked right out for the storyline to happen, which I was like a little surprised about. Willow was getting consoled from Statlander and Stokely, but they turned on her and they attacked her brutally.
I think when Statlander started sharing all those pictures of her and Willow on IG, I was like, oh yeah, she's turning on her. It just felt like the usual heel thing to do of like, hey, look, we're such great friends, and it's like, oh, here we go. I liked it. I like that they've been building up stuff with her and Statlander for a while. I like that they played up stuff like Willow getting misted all the way back in the storyline with Julia and Sky Blue.
Yeah.
And you thought, hey, maybe Willow's going to be the one to turn heel.
Right.
But then it ended up being Statlander. I thought that was a great kind of bait and switch.
I love that.
With like Stokely as her manager, I think this could be really good for Statlander, because I think Statlander is a really good wrestler, but I think the knock against her is, for some people, she just hasn't had the character stuff to really sink our teeth into.
People were worrying if they were going to turn Willow heel during the Mercedes Moné feud, but then I'm glad they went to Mercedes as heel. By the way, the chants were almost like equal, or they were more for Willow actually.
Yeah, I thought the atmosphere for the match was also really, really cool. I think that added to the match. It got one of the best responses of the night. I mean, which I wasn't surprised, but man, this is just Mercedes at this point. She does this everywhere she goes. Like WrestleMania getting this kind of response, New Japan, just everywhere she goes, she manages to get this kind of crowd response.
But the fact that Willow is getting Mercedes booed, that's also a testament to her star power.
But I also think AEW's fan base is very loyal to like their homegrown people, and the TBS title has kind of been the homegrown belt. That was Jade's belt. That was really the thing that put her on the map. Then, of course, Julia Hart, Statlander, an outsider, quote unquote, somebody that was from somewhere else to come in and be the first one to take that belt off of a homegrown and stop her run before it could really get started. I don't think a lot of people wanted to see that. I think a lot of fans wanted to see Willow's reign keep going.
Right. The Statlander turning heel with Stokely, I think it's just like genius move. Statlander's TBS Championship reign was just spectacular. Every single match she had, she gave best matches to every opponent. Like she was, here's your best match, here's your best match. The promo was always a clutch. You can kind of see like in interviews, she's kind of a little quirky. Just quirky, more of a quirky side, but it doesn't necessarily like align with her like how powerful she is in the ring. So I feel like Stokely being there as a heel manager will be just like it will just take her to the next level. So I'm so excited about that, and the chemistry they have is like awesome too. I wonder if Statlander is the one that attacked Mercedes.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I do think that it's good that they're moving Statlander over too, because you're going to need more heels coming up. You're going to need more heel challengers. Again, you're going to have to turn Toni. But also with like Mercedes, you're going to need like more heels to go up against her, because she's going to get cheered eventually. Like, I know people are like 50-50 with the Willow stuff, but she's just too popular. Eventually, she's going to keep getting cheered. So you're going to need more heels to go up against her. And that Statlander match with Mercedes, that's a big match.
Oh, yes.
You got to get to that one eventually. That was definitely the thing coming away from this that I got excited for. Like, and I think just even the prospect of all of the matches for Mercedes are hot, because I thought immediately last night, I was like, man, sure would have been nice to see Hikaru Shida, because she has like this long history with Double or Nothing. That's where she debuted.
Yeah.
Like, that's where she won the championship. Right. When are we getting Mercedes versus Shida?
You love your Shida.
But she's like one of my favorite wrestlers in the company. She always puts up good matches.
I am salivating for the eventual Mercedes Moné versus Saraya match.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that the storyline's gonna be on fire. I'm so excited for that one.
Yeah, I think the character stuff and the story stuff alone is gonna be interesting. Saraya's an interesting spot. I think that she does well with the heel stuff. I think she does well with like the comedy and character stuff when she's out there. I think it took her a minute to kind of get back to her pace as an in-ring performer. I think that could be a good match. I mean, I enjoyed the Toni match. That was I thought that was one of my favorite matches Soraya's had so far with the company.
Agreed. All In's their big WrestleMania ones. I wonder who Mercedes is gonna go for. Soraya or Statlander? We'll see.
Interesting because like that's where Mercedes first showed up when she was in the crowd. So
You're
I have to wonder like, are they gotta have a big match for her on that show? That would be a good one if Jamie was ready, but that's one of those where Jamie's gonna get such a big pop in London. I don't know. Like that's a good problem to have though.
You know, we're at this point that AEW has so many good women in their roster. We're like, we don't know which one's gonna be good. I am a little sad that Willow's title reign ended so quickly. She did have couple good title defenses. I love that Tom Nakano match that she had in Stardom. She also had that incredible match with Sky Blue.
Yeah, very good match.
Rough. She did do a lot that she could do in this small time that she had. Will she be back on top soon?
I think she's gonna be fine. I think in the time that she's been there, she's had like a great run. When you think about it, like Owen Hart Cup winner, the TBS title run, New Japan Strong Women's Champion. I know people will be like, well, none of those things really had like the prominence that they should have, but I think they've done a great job of building her up as like a great baby face. So when she does eventually challenge for the big belt, I think that's gonna be like the real like definitive run for her.
There's a tweet going around that Mercedes Moné versus Willow match was 18 minutes or so, and it was the longest women's match of all time. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't have the times in front of me, but I have to assume like there's had to been longer matches. Like, of course, people are gonna go, "Oh, does Ring of Honor count?" Because the thing that's had longer matches, the Casino Battle Royal matches have been.
If that's true, if this is the longest women's match, like singles match, if we're talking, that is pretty sad. But we are on the right path. Progress. Seriously, all three matches here had some big storyline predicaments there. We're all excited to see what's going to happen.
I don't know if this is the longest match, but I think, again, that's a testament to who Mercedes is, that she comes in and effectively forces you to give her a spot on the show where she gets more prominence, forces you to give her time because of just the level of star she is. AEW's never signed a star this big, and somebody that's undeniable that she is. And so I think that's a good thing. I think like the more she's there, that's gonna bring more people up. You know, rising tides lift all boats.
That is it for Double or Nothing review. Phil, where can we all find you?
You can find me on Twitter at PhilDO616. You can find me on Fightful's YouTube channel on Saturdays at noon Eastern, hosting Rhapsody, Righteous Reg.
And you can find me at DShin on Instagram and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. I'll see you next time. Bye!